best thing I can say about the school is if you want to do something, they'll give you the resources to do it. While I was at Penn State, I joined an officer program. So as soon as I graduated, I went to officer candidate school, commissioned from Newport, Rhode Island, and got onto my first ship in Jacksonville, Florida. Did a deployment out of Jacksonville, and then picked up a role as navigator on a littoral combat ship out here in San Diego. So my wife and I moved out here, did a workup and a deployment on the ship, and then now I'm an instructor for ship handling navigation for the Navy. And then really the business school thing was I've always wanted to do it. So this time where I'm on shore duty was my window for getting my MBA. And so I did a bunch of research and wound up choosing UCSD as the school that I was going to join. And so that it's really kind of also what I was planning on using to transition from active duty into the civilian world. I wanted to learn what was next. So I knew stuff that I was good at. I knew some passions that I had. I thought I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't know for sure. And I wasn't sure what else was out there. So I took a broad smattering of classes from logistics to marketing, to accounting, to finance, to try to hone in on what did I like and what did I not like. And then working with the careers department, they really have a really good framework for helping you do the self-discovery to build that transition period. So I have a lot of peers who've switched jobs and have gotten promotions. And then I have a lot of other military RVA members who have done their transition out. Some go work for the government contractors, you name the big company, they go and work for them, but a lot are trying to get away from that. And the Career Center and the school and the work that they teach you how to do to help yourself find that next path has been really helpful. So I would say that a combination of the school giving you all of the opportunities you could ever want, combined with the support systems through careers and student orgs, really give you an ability to kind of discover what you want. So I was also able to kind of find my passion on what I want to do next, and that's really continue this work with the veterans community and organization. So I've been able to find some organizations in Philadelphia where I'm moving to start work with already. And I wouldn't have found that without the amount of work and stuff that I was able to do with the school and the help. So the school really, if you want to do something, they'll help you do it. You have to do the work to do it, but the school will give you every tool, resource, and people available to accomplish that. And it's pretty great to watch and to experience. So you start off the program in quant. If you have a statistics background, you'll be able to understand the first part of the class. And the second part of the class, you're exposed to a lot of new things that can help you in the business. I know business world. I had a classmate who worked for House, and he literally took some of the stuff we were working on, and the next day he went in and built some scattergrams and did some data analysis and was able to get some projects funded based off of just his quick stuff that we were doing in class. So quant builds that. After that quarter, you're probably not going to remember a ton of it because it's a lot of information, but you know that the tools out there exist, and that's been helpful. Experiments and firms were able to build databases and set up quantifiable surveys that impact or cause behavior changes. So you'll learn through that experience how to set up experiments to be able to optimize your business and some business strategies. So that was good, and you were able to experience some tools with that. And then finally, the handful of finance classes I took teaches you how to use Excel, teaches you how to get some of these basic structures done for a lot of your corporate finance things you're going to be doing, such as valuations or discounting or looking at risk levels. So those classes put together have helped advance learning what's available and then how to do some of these things that you just hear about sometimes. So some of the rote classes I took, like marketing outlines and marketing strategies, I learned a lot about the formalized processes for those and how I can incorporate those kind of into business strategies. And finance outlines, how do I value something? How do I do my risk calculations? How do I get my net present value and whatnot of projects, and how do those basic assumptions work. And then really some of the fun stuff, once we get into the soft skills, I took a class on high performing workplaces that talked a lot about employee ownership programs, and then how a salary recruits people, but it's really how your organization operates and what their culture is like that retains people. And so that was a cool piece to discover. And then one of our organizational strategy class and our leadership classes talked a lot about the utilization of the informal and political networks, and really how most things get done in an organization is you have your hierarchical structure, but it's the informal and political networks that are what you have to utilize. So when you come into a place, you have to learn those. You have to learn what the secondary networks are. You have to know who's friends with who, and who will give you who will help you out and slide the answer under the table, versus who you're going to have to get a coalition to support you in order to advance an idea. So that's the part where I go, well, yeah, that makes sense, because I experienced it at work, but they put it into one piece where you can digest it and you can understand it. And now it clicks, and now it's kind of formalized in your brain as to how you can approach that thing. So really kind of your hard skills and soft skills, you're able to develop really well here. So there are two classes that were really great for in-classroom experience. So Shin runs your operations class, and he has a lot of interactive things you're going to do. You're going to learn how manufacturing whiplashes occur. You're going to learn how to best utilize your inventory management system. And he does all that through some really fun in-class exercises. So that was a really cool way to learn those types of things, and to see how even on a small scale, a made up scale, that a lot of the issues that companies face for their operations and supply chain come to fruition. And then lab to market, even if you don't plan on being an entrepreneur, or that's not necessarily the direction you're going to go, you're going to learn a ton. So it's 2 quarters of talking with a lot of people. You have a ton of outside presenters, so it's not just a lecture from a professor. You have a lot of opportunity to interact with your cohort and your classmates to get feedback. You have some great brainstorming opportunities, and then you also are encouraged and you're required to talk to a lot of people out in the business community. So that class alone gives you the ability to learn the power of networking, and it teaches you a lot of fundamental skills in terms of even if you're not starting a business, how to operate and move things along in your business career. Rady allows any alum to audit any of their classes as long as they're not core classes. So if I need to get customer analytics, if I need to get into projections and forecasting, I can come back and audit those classes for the rest of my life and learn that skill if I need to learn that skill. If my job has that things like, hey, we really need this, I'm like, all right, well, next quarter, this class is coming up, so I'm going to take my Thursday nights and learn how to do this with whatever software we've got. So I know that the analytics side of me is weak. I also know that the career field I want to go into is not going to require me to be a data analyst, and I'm going to hire one to do that job, but I need to be able to read what they're saying. So Rady gave me the skills to read and understand what they're giving me. I just could gain the skills through Rady to do that myself if I wanted to or needed to. So the Value of the Veteran event we created last year, and throughout our veteran focus at the school and the veteran project, we've done a lot of focus groups. We've started a veteran corporate board, which brings outside veteran employee resource groups together to talk about issues that they're having, to share ideas, and to grow the knowledge of how to recruit, hire, and retain veterans and what that value brings to a business. So our goal is to expand that knowledge. And in that process, and then when we're talking with Rady Veterans students, especially those of us who are still active duty, who are using this as our transition period, a lot of what we heard was, I don't know how to transition as a veteran because I don't know what I don't know. I don't know language. I don't know how to translate flying a jet or being an artillery officer in the Marines into a business environment. What does that mean for a consulting firm. And so there's a lot of that language and a lot of that conversation that's unknown on both sides of the aisle, both from the veteran and on the hiring side. So what the value of the veteran aims to do is to bridge that gap. So we do work through the Career Center during the summer. We create a careers workshop, a roadmap that helps you go through value systems and project planning, your transition. And we do some very specific veteran things that allow you to hone in on tools that we as veterans or transitioning military need that our civilian counterparts don't need. And then with the corporate board, we talk a lot about what are the corporations doing? So what's Intuit doing? What's Petco doing? What's Booz Allen doing to help integrate the veteran experience? So Value of the Veteran brings those sides together, and it helps to teach HR professionals, students, veterans, transitioning people, and our classmates how we can all talk in kind of a common language based on value. So what are my core values? What are your core values? And how do I talk about my experiences in the military and how that translates to the corporate world so you can understand who I am and what value I will bring to your organization? The other piece of that value chain is the what value I will bring to your organization. How do I add value as a veteran specifically that somebody on the civilian side with a similar GPA, similar education level won't have? We're able to create scholarship programs through the Yellow Ribbon for veterans. So if you come with a 50% GI Bill capacity, once you use up that 50%, the school covers the rest with a fellowship. Same thing for direct family members. We're developing that strategy as well. So if you're a spouse and you have your military person's GI benefits, then you use up 50% of that and we'll cover the rest. So we've created scholarships for military and their families to be able to attend our school. I really hope that I can leave a system and a program and a student organization behind that continues to make a positive impact on all current and future Rady veterans and their families. So I hope that the career events we create are able to be continued on. I hope that the Value of the Veteran event will continue on. And I really hope that through all of this work, that Rady is able to become a hub in not just Southern California, but throughout the country of learning how to utilize veterans and giving veterans resources to advance their career in the business world. And for companies to be able to advance the utilization of veterans beyond just lip service, but to really the true understanding piece of what we bring.